So we are in, yesterday we continued a little bit. Good morning, Masechet, Pesahim, Amoud Yomi, Dirshu, Nun, Gimel, Amoud, Bet at the bottom of the page. Let's go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big lines. Nun, Gimel, Amoud, Bet. Third word. Is there another Gemara for? I have another one here. Whoever wants. You're gonna fall together. You want this one?
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Okay. So the Gemara says over here. So you see where it is for the third one in line. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. You have it. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel en mevachin hanaor ela b'motzei Shabbat. When do we say the blessing of meorei ha'esh? We only. When do we thank Hashem for fire? Only on Motzei Shabbat. Why? Hu'id b'tchilat briato. Who? Because that's when it was created. We're going to see that. It's a whole masugi, we're going to see in a second, but Adam Rishon had the sechel on Motzei Shabbos to take two rocks together, hit them together, and take out a flame. There was in potential, by the way, that's the most crazy thing. There was fire in potential inside the stones. Two opposites. Hashem is creating two opposites. There's fire in the stone, and the way you get it out, it's not that the friction is making a flame. It's actually, according to Chazal, if I remember well, taking the fire from out of the stone. I don't know if scientists have figured that out yet, but there's inside. Adam Rishon had the chokhmah to be able to get it out. Motzei Shabbat. So every Motzei Shabbat, you say a blessing to thank Hashem for the fire. That's what the Gemara says. Who said this? Amar Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Shmuel. There in Babel. The Gemara says, so there was a certain zaken, it's a chacham. Some say it was Rabbi Bachana. Amar Yashar Chabyenji. It's good. Yashar Chazak. It's true. V'ken amar Rabbi Yochanan. Because Rabbi Yochanan, my Rebbe, also said that. So we have it in the name of Shmuel, and we have it in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan was a contemporary of Shmuel at the same time, but he was in Eretz Yisrael.
We did the Mishnah yesterday?
Sure. We did it yesterday.
What?
We went a little bit faster than but for sure we did in the Mishnah. What was the Mishnah speaking about? The Mishnah spoke about lighting a candle on Yom Kippur. You want to read it in the Mishnah? Let's read it quickly. Mishnah says, "Makom sheragu nadik et haner b'ren Yom Kippurim madlikim." Do we light a candle on Yom Kippur? Some places yes. Makom shanu shelo nadik and madlikim. Some places don't light. Umadikim bar on Yom Kippur b'batei knesiyot b'midrashot mevoot alafim. But we light a candle in shul. We light a candle in the streets. We light a candle in the alleys. But a sick guy, you light a candle next to the sick guy. Why do we light a candle, not light a candle in a bedroom on Yom Kippur? We said yesterday everybody has the same intention. Let's read the Gemara what it says. Tana ben shamru nadik ben shamru shelo nadik shneim nidvar echad nitkavnu. Everybody has a good intention, whether you light a candle in the bedroom in the house or not. And what is it? Rashi explains what it is. You're not allowed to have marital relations on Yom Kippur. So how will you prevent marital relations? Well, you're preventing it by not lighting a candle, because then you won't see your wife. You won't be attracted to her. But if you light, or you'll light it by lighting a candle. You'll prevent it because you know that you're not allowed to have marital relations with the light on. So either way, so what is the better of the two? Put the light on, so you're not going to do. But if you put the light on, maybe it's a young chatan and he's going to have yetzer hara. And so he's going to see his wife. So if you don't see, what do we see yesterday in Seudah Shishit? You don't see it doesn't bother you. Yetzer hara will only start bothering you when you see it. You see a lady outside, you're going to have a machshavot. If you protect yourself, don't try to beat the yetzer hara. You can't beat him. Don't put yourself in a fight with him. Don't fight with the terrorist. Run away from the terrorist, right? Hashem will take care of the terrorist. Hashem will take care of your yetzer hara. But you run away. So if you don't see her, you're not going to do it. So both of them had the same intention, whether you light a candle. Everybody had a good intention. That's what we said. Amar Bishua, Drash Rabba, V'amecha kulam tzadikim, nunam shuaretz. Am Yisrael is kadosh, the tzadikim. Ben shamru nadik, ben shamru shelo nadik, shneim no nikvu ele dvar echad. Everybody had the same intention, to stay away from the Avera. Then we got to our Gemara, which said that Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel that we light, we say Moreh Esh on Motzei Shabbat. And Rabbi Bachana said we say Moreh Esh on Motzei Shabbat in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. The Gemara says, Ula, so now we skip to where we left off. See it? Next line, middle of the Chana is the first word of the line. In the middle you have Ula. Ula v'rakiv hamra. He was riding on a donkey. V'azim. He was going v'ashakil. He's traveling. V'azid Rabbi Abba mimine v'Rabbi Bachana mismone. Shakil v'azim. He was basically traveling. That's a funny way of traveling. He was picking himself up, picking his things, loading his donkey, going forward. That's what it seems to me. And he had Rabbi Abba on his right side and Rabbi Bachana, our famous Rabbi Bachana, on the left side. Mismone. Amari Rabbi Abba leuna. So on the right side, he turns to the middle. Una. Vadai amritu mishmed Rabbi Yochanan. Is it true that you guys are saying in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, En mevachin ala or ele b'motzei Shabbat, u'ed v'tchilato briato? Are you guys saying that? Because I don't accept that. Is that what you guys are saying? That's not true, Rabbi Yochanan said. So Ula looked at Rabbi Yochanan and he gave him a face, bishut. He gave him like an upset face. You're the one that said it. Fix this. Because Rabbi Abba is not accepting your psak. I didn't say it in the name of Yochanan. You said it, so you better fix this up. So he answers, so Rabbi Chana right away shoots back. No. I said it, but they mixed it up. Whoever told you that in my name, it wasn't that. I didn't say that in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. I said something in the name of Rabbi Yochanan about the candles, but not what they told you. By the way, it's broken telephone. Happens all the time. I get back, people come to me, says, people said that you said. I said, I didn't say that. I said this and this and this. The guy wasn't listening, and he's making up his own halachot in my name. You gotta pay attention to what the halakha is. And if you're not sure, review it a few times. So that's what happened. Here's what I said. Here's what I said. The Tani Kamedi Rabbi Yochanan. Once there was a Tana saying in Mishnah in front of Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Shimon Tani Kamedi the Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Shimon, here's what he said. So they were teaching in front of Rabbi Yochanan the Amora the following Braita. It said like this, or Mishnah. Rabbi Shimon ben Azar Omer, Yom Kippurim shechal liot b'Shabbat. If Yom Kippur is on Shabbos, אף במקום שאמרו שלא להדליק מדליקים מפני כבוד שבת. You're going to have lights in the house on Shabbos. And the reason is very simply, we don't want you to hit. You know what the Gemara says? You're going to have lights in the house on Shabbos? A few reasons. You're going to have lights at the place of the Suda. It's kavod to eat where there are candles. Melav and Malka, like candles. Just a little push from Melav and Malka. It's something you don't learn in the community. You have to have seen it in the house, parents, but it's part of the Shabbat. We see Friday night Suda, Shabbos day Suda, you've been invited, Suda Shishit we have, but part of the Shabbat is the Melav Makkah. Sit down, a nice table, candles, even a piece of bread, a little bit, an egg, depends. Melav Makkah is part of the Shabbat. It brings the Kedusha of Shabbat into the week. We don't do Havdalah and finish, we start the week. No. You continue the Shabbat with Melav Makkah, Sipuret Tzadikim we do, Zmirot, it's the highest part of the week to bring the Kedusha of Shabbat into the week. If you want to make your week a holy week, do two things. Take in the Shabbat a bit early, and take in Shabbat out a little bit late, not late in Melacha, do Melacha, but make Melav Malka. It's very important. B'Shem all the tzaddikim, all the mikubalim, it's what changes you to be more of a Shabbos-like person in the week. Anyway, so here over here, so when it comes out, we don't light, so that's one of the reasons why we light candles, because Kavod of a Suda has candles with it, so Shabbat has candles, and Melav Makan, putting it also, we light candles over there. And here, but if we don't light, now another reason why we light candles is so that you don't hit the walls. There was no lights, so we have lights all over the house, but back then it was pashut dark, the house was dark. So you don't make sure you light candles before Shabbat, you're going to be hitting things, and if you're going to hit things, you're going to be upset. If you're going to be upset, you're going to make problems with Shalom Bayit. So they said the candles of Shabbat are sigurah for Shalom Bayit. Pashut, so you don't hit into things. Now, when Yom Kippur, you can't light candles, right? You told me not to light candles, not to see my wife. Even the one said, don't see your wife, light candles on Shabbat for the Kabod of Shabbat. And who said that? Rabbi Shimon Azar. V'ani Rabbi Yochanan Batre. And I said, Rabbi Chana, that my Rabbi Yochanan said, Chachamim osrin. No, Chachamim say, even on Shabbat, don't light the candles. What is the reason we light the candles? To have Kabod of Shabbat. But if the guy's going to see his wife, he's going to do an Avera on Yom Kippur, being with his wife, that's worse. No candles on Shabbat. That's what I said in Rabbi Yochanan. I didn't talk about lighting saying B'Oim Oraesh and Motzei Shabbos. I didn't talk about that. Amar li adate. So Rabbi Ula was satisfied. Okay, good. Because I know that Rabbi Yochanan didn't say you light on Motzei Shabbat. You say the B'Oim Oraesh on Motzei Shabbat. We're going to see. He says also to say it on Motzei Yom Kippur. So that was the statement I said to Rabbi Yochanan. So Karei Ane Rabbi Yosef, Ma'im Amukim Etza Belevish. There's a pasuk which the Rabbeinu brings also in one of the. Meaning it's a pasuk in Mishle. The Rabbeinu has a big drash on it in Likutei Moran, but he says Ma'im Amukim Belevish. Ma'im Amukim Etza Belevish. There is waters deep hidden in the heart. It's advice. Belevish ve'ish chacham yidlena, and you need a wise man to dig it out. In other words, ish tfuna. Ish tfuna, a person with discernment, bina is able to get the wisdom out of the heart of the chacham. My mamukim etza belevish. Who is that going on? Ze Ula. Ula was upset a little bit at Rabbi Chana. Rabbi Ashi told Ula, "Did you guys say that in the name of the Rebbe?" And Ula just made a face to Rabbi Chana. He made a remez to Rabbi Chana. He didn't tell him, "You messed up. You better fix this because you're upset with us." He just made him an eyes like, figure it out. So there's something deep inside of his heart, But he didn't reveal it. Chachamim keep things in with an eye they can give you. The real tzaddikim, if you understand the real tzaddikim, I would see by the Rav, he would be manhig the whole place with remazim. You can know exactly what he wants by a hand movement like this, everything. It was without talking. And if you didn't know the remez, you know the remez. But if you knew the remez, you knew the real Gabbai, the real Tamid knows what the Rab wants without the Rab speaking. It's deep inside, and Rabbi Chana was a real Chacham. He was able to know what was inside Ula's heart, pick it out, and save the day by explaining to him that the Halacha is not like they said in his name. Okay, so if you say that Rabbi Yochanan doesn't say you say the blessing of Moresh and Motzei Shabbos, so what is the halacha that they hold? What's the problem with that? We do that every week. Ki hada amar Rabbi Binyamin bar Yefet, amar Rabbi Yochanan. We hold Rabbi Binyamin. That said in the Rabbi Yochanan, mevachin hanaor ben b'motzei Shabbat, ben b'motzei Yom HaKippurim. We say meorei ha'esh on after Shabbos and after Yom Kippur twice. That's what we say. We don't say it on after Yom Tov, after regular Yom Tov. You don't say Meoresh. We don't say Besamim. You just say Akos. And you say it. But on Yom Kippur, there's a candle as well. Veken Amad Davar. And the Gemara says that, in fact, is the halacha. Meor Ha'esh, every Motzei Shabbos, and once a year after Yom Kippur. The Gemara says, Meitivei challenges. En mevachin hanaor ela b'motzei Shabbat. We have a braita that clearly says you can only say Meor Ha'esh on Motzei Shabbat. Hu'id b'tchilat briatohu. Because that's when it was created. Fire was created Motzei Shabbat. That's why we say the bracha. So why are you telling me Motzei Yom Kippur? V'kivan she'roem mevarech miyad. And when do you say the blessing? As soon as you see the fire. Rabbi Yehuda omer sodran alakos. Rabbi Yehuda would say we do all the brachas together with the kos of gefen, like we do. You do kiddush, you do havdalah at your house with a cup of wine. You take the fire, you take the besamim, everything together, one shot. Did I skip a sentence? No. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Sudran Akos, Rabbi Yochanan Anachak Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yochanan holds like that. So you see, Rabbi Yochanan says that you say it Motzei Yom Shabbat. Why are you telling me that Rabbi Yochanan says Motzei Yom Kippur? La kasha kan beor Shabbat, kan beor hayotze min ha'etzim. There's two types of blessings. You only say meorei ha'esh on Yom Kippur if it was candle that rested the whole Yom Kippur. That's why the Gabbai always announces, make sure you say the blessing on Meoresh if it was a lit candle. Don't take a candle, not like we do Motzei Shabbat. Motzei Shabbat, you light it. So when it's Yotzei min Avanim, that's what you can do Motzei Shabbos. But if it's Yom Kippur, it has to be Shabbat, and we'll see why in a second. Umin Avanim, Kan beor yosim min ha'etzim umin ha'avanim. So on Motzei Shabbat it could be any candle, and Motzei Yom Kippur it has to be a candle that rested. Tani chada or yosim min ha'etzim umin ha'avanim mevachin olam. So we have one braita that says whether it's from the whether you lit it or whether it was rested, or min ha'etzim, sorry, from a tree or from rocks, you say a blessing. Tani chada and mevachin olam. And someone say you don't bless. La kasha kan b'motzei Shabbat, kan b'motzei Yom Kippurim. So it's not a problem. Motzei Shabbat you can light the candle. Yom Kippur you can light the candle. If you light a candle you can't say bracha levatala. Rebbe mefazeran. Rebbe wouldn't put all the brachas together. He would see a candle, he would say a blessing. By the way, it was common. You leave right away. You leave the shul Motzei Shabbat in 2,000 years ago. There's no lights outside. You have no idea how blessed we are to have the lights, the streets outside, the lights. Every house has lights. You're walking around. There's no night. Back then, night was choshech. I remember the ice storm a few years ago in Pesach. We're walking home. It was dark. I said to my son, "That's how it used to be. You go up north. You go in the country. The night is the night. You know the moon. When you're saying the blessing on the moon, the middle of the moon, you're benefiting from that moon. The moon is a light. But if there's no moon, it's the end of the month. You don't benefit. So when it's a new month after 7 days, finally we're starting to get benefit from the moon. We're going to say the blessing. The moon and the stars, which actually light. But if there's not, so you leave the shul back then. There was actually people had candles. So people would light candles. So Rebbe would see the first candle lit. He would say Moresh on Motzei Shabbos. Rabbi Chia mikansan, and Rabbi Chia would wait till he got home. He would say all them together with a kos, avdara, besamim, and the ner. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi, אף על פי שרבי מפזרן, חוזר וסודרן על הכוס, כדי להוציא בניו ובני ביתו. But according to Rabbi, even though he would see, if people were walking around with besamim. You got a good besamim, like happening over here. Everybody has besamim these days. By the way, I had a guest at my house yesterday, Havdalah. He said, "What is this besamim? This is the best one you ever saw, the one that Chaim put on." Today we all have besamim in the pocket, so you have besamim, he would say, and the fire he would say, and he would even say, and then he would say on a costa. But then for his family, why would he do that? I think because Zrizin Makdimi. You see it, say a blessing. You're benefiting, say a blessing. But your house didn't hear. The kids didn't hear. So you come home, same as you. So you would do it again for the house, same as you. You hear Kiddush at Breslov Center on Shabbos morning. You ate, you're satisfied, you get home, they're still hungry. Hey, we need it. So you do a Kiddush again to be Motzi, the family. You can be Yotzeh, but again, do it for the rest of the people. But the Gemara says, the Gemara questions, was created on Motzei Shabbat?
What's Ibrei Bara?
Created, yeah. V'atanya, asarat dvarim nivru be'erev Shabbat. Why are you saying it was created Motzei Shabbos? 10 things were created be'erev Shabbat ben hashemashot, in the twilight zone. And just to be clear, we don't do Melachah in the twilight zone. The twilight zone is the time where we don't know if it's night or day. We have Shkia, sunset. We have Tzetak Rumi, nightfall. There's 13 and a half minutes in Eretz Yisrael between those times. Eretz Yisrael is amazing. It's complete day. 14 minutes later, it's complete night.
And you can
Here,
see, I promise you can see it.
You see it.
You see it physically.
You see it happening.
Like a light switch.
It's 13 and a half minutes on the dot.
It's also the sunrise, it's the same thing.
Sunrise
Unreal.
also. Sunrise a little more. Sunrise a little more. The Shkia.
I did net. It was a bit dark, and you open your eyes at 3-4 minutes in the Amidah, it's day. It's unbelievable.
Here, it takes 40 minutes, 25, 30, 40 minutes sometimes. 50 minutes sometimes between the sunset to this.
So the closer you are to the equator,
Exactly.
you have that effect.
Exactly right. Now, what is that time? That twilight zone, is it day or is it night? Is it weekday or is it Shabbat? What is it?
Don't give me that, Jeff.
What's the joke?
Lui, il était bon en sciences.
Correcting on the sun and the equator, so said thank you to the professor for the geometry.
Remind me to tell you the joke of the day later.
Columbus, you're like,
Huh?
As well said now.
Huh?
As well said
You want to know?
Yeah.
of course.
So there was the Moroccan, they big. They were looking for a good auditor and like an expert comptable. So the Moroccan, he comes in, he's like, he says, you think you have what it takes? I got what it takes. This guy's, listen, before we start, we're just gonna do a little test on you, see where you're holding. So he says, what's 143 times 148? Easy, 8,496. So they said, wow. He said, calculate it. He says, completely off. What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, but you saw how fast they got it? Okay, good one.
That's a good way to
Fine. So now the Gemara is saying that if fire was created Erev Shabbat, it was created Motzei Shabbat. So what? Just to be clear, the Ben HaShamashot is a day or is a night. We're not sure. So we're machmir. We take in Shabbat at Shkia, and we take out Shabbat at Motzei Tzetek Kochavim, because we're not sure if it's day or if it's night. If is it day or is it night? So we're not sure. So what do? Is we so now how did Hashem create during that time? He's not to create. So the Gemara, Gamavina explains, is the amazing thing, is that really we are machmir because we don't know what it is. Hashem knows exactly what it is. He knows where the limit is in the Shkia, between the Shkia and the Tzedek Rovim. So he's allowed to continue creating in that time. We don't know where the cutoff is between day and night, so we have to be machmir the whole amount. But Hashem knows exactly, so he's able to create. And he created 10 things. What are the by the way, these are very spiritual things that were needed, as on the Mefarshim, that are needed to show miracles to the world. Like there are miraculous things that are needed to be able to give chizuk and help people do tshuva. These are the things where they are. These are the things that are created right before. What are they?
Before Shabbat?
Erev Shabashot.
Erev Shabbat.
Right, at the last part of creation. Well, Hashem created Yom Rishon all the way to Shabbos. Right before Shabbat, Hashem created these things.
Stopped like last second.
Last second preparation. So what are those things? Edwin, Ber. So the well of Miriam, which wasn't a well, it was a rock. It was a rock that water was coming out of the rock. That followed Am Yisrael the whole time they were in the desert. Miraculous water everywhere. Anywhere you are, inside the desert. V'aman, also the bread that fell. Keshet, a rainbow. Ktav, the otiot, the letters are right. V'amichtav, Moshe Rabbeinu had something to chisel out the Luchot HaBrit. That special pen that he had, that's Rashi says 2 things. Special pen that he had to chisel out the Luchot HaBrit was created every Shabbat. HaLuchot. The Luchot HaBrit were created then. Kivoshen Moshe. Amazing. This is a whole, for Breslov, this is a big thing. The Kever Moshe. Because the Kever Moshe, we don't know where it is. He's buried in Har Nevo, but there's a miraculous thing. If you come to the bottom of the mountain, you see that the Kever is on top. If you go to the top, you see the Kever is on the bottom. And that's exactly the Torah we're learning. Torah Zayin. Remember this pshat, because when we get to the Torah Zayin, I'm going to show you how it's there. Basically what it is the people on top, he shows them you're low. The people on the low, he shows them he's on top. Moshe Rabbeinu's kever is a moving kever. Miraculous. What else? On Har Sinai, there was a little place where Hashem says, I'm going to put my Shekhinah on top, and you're going to go down. You're not, Hashem says, "Areni Hashem et kover decha." I want to see you, Hashem. Says, "Nilo yireni adam b'chai." But you're going to go in. I'm going to go over. V'yavor Hashem al panav. Hashem goes, and He's going to show you that His Yud Gimel Midot, but only like in a. You got to hide in a rock over there. So this rock that Moshe Rabbeinu hid in, this me'arad, this little cave, and Eliyahu eventually also went to that place who was created there. Pitichat pihaton. Bilam's donkey that was able to speak, that was already created, that it was already embedded in that donkey that he's going to speak, the mouth. Upitichat piharetz. And the ground that's sucked out, Korach, was also created in Shabbat. Divlo et hareshaim. So you see that these 10 things over here. Rabbi Nechemia Omer, Mishum Aviv, Afa Or, fire. Fire was created Ben Erev Shabbos. Vapered, and a pered is a mule. Don't think a mule is a crossbreed. A mule is a crossbreed between a horse and a donkey. So you can have an animal kikilayim. No, it was actually created. Even the animals, even that it seemed to be came down was already created beforehand. The Gemara says, Rabbi Yoshia. Now it's true that you can have it. That if you make them together, you'll have a mule that's going to come out. But the first mule was created beforehand. Rabbi Shia Omer, by the way, what do you see over here? You see fire. So fire was before Shabbat. Rabbi Shia Omer, Mishum Aviv, Af Ha'ayin, so the donkey of the ayin, the ram of Akizat Yitzchak. The Shamir was what Shlomo HaMelech used to create the Beit Mikdash. You know the stones of the Beit Mikdash? How did they carve them out? Perfect. There was a certain worm that eats anything, even metal, stone. You just put it eats, it's like a laser cutting worm that was able to cut anything, perfect cutting. So that was created then. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Afat Hatzavat. Tzavat is thongs. Thongs. Thong. The first thong.
Tongs.
What's it called?
With a T, not a
Tongs?
What is that?
No, you're saying the way you pronounce that first word is an inappropriate word. Not that you.
I don't know what it
What's
is.
that? What's
A tong is a metal.
Yeah, you're talking about tongues.
You want to take something out of the fire. How do you make a metal item? You put it in the fire and you're taking it. You shape it a bit. You put it in the fire forms it. How are you going to get it out? So you need a tong, a long thing that's like a
scissor.
A chopper. It's called a chopper. You know, you chop it. A scissor that has something on. So you take it out. Now, how do you create a tong? You need a tong to create a tong. How do you create the first tong? How does the first man create the first tong? You can't.
Amazon.
The office is on fire today, huh?
You ordered it.
Is it because your father-in-law's here?
Okay, so create a tongue. A tongue is, so they said even the first tongue was created by Hashem. We're going to see what the Gemara says on this. So you have to make a tongue from a tongue. So where's the first one? Highlight. So really what's the juice? So says Rav Yehuda, it was created by Hashem. אמרו לו, אפשר שיעשה בדפוס, ויקבענה, not true. You're saying, there's another way to make it. Melt, put metal on the fire, make it into a molten, and make a little, like a mold, and pour it in the mold. You don't need to make the first one through, says you're right. It's not from Hashem. It's the first one. By the way, Rav Yehuda has a Kabbalah. It's even written in the Mishnah that the first one was actually created by Hashem. It's interesting. For sure, there's a sod over here that the kelim, to make the kelim already in Kabbalah, there's probably a big thing if I remember well. Hanakashya. So what is our problem? Either way, we're saying over here that fire was created Motzei Shabbat, and we have a Baita, it's created before Shabbat. Hanakashya. Our fire was created in Motzei Shabbos. What's written over here, the first fire, the fire of Ginam, was created before Shabbat. Or Didan Motzei Shabbos. Or the Ginam be'erev Shabbat. The fire of Ginam was created before Shabbat. Or the Ginam be'erev Shabbat. The Gemara says, 1 second, how can it be that the Or Ginam was created before Shabbat? Ibrei v'Tanya shiva dvarim nivru kodem shenivra olam. 7 things were created before the world. Yeah. What are they? Vedoen, Torah. Torah is before the world. Hashem looks in the Torah to create the world.
Yeah.
The world is a metaphors for the Torah. It's not there's a world and we'll give a Torah. The Torah is real. The world is a metaphor. Everything is a metaphor of the Torah. That's the first thing. Tshuva.
But in this form?
No. What do you mean in this form?
Like what we talk about the Torah, because the Torah, the way it's
No.
Okay.
The Torah that we have now is
adapted to us.
Is adapted to us in metaphors on our level.
No, it's all. I think we are adapted to the Torah. That's what it is. It's the way we are functioning, we're adapted to how the Torah needs tefillin in this world. So they're going to create a human that's going to need to put on tefillin. That's what I think. And not the vice versa, that I don't need to put on tefillin, therefore it's going to be written in the Torah.
The way it works is that, you're right, but the way it works is that a child, I'll tell him a deep concept with a story. An adult, a little higher. In a body, a little higher. When we take off the body, it's another level. All the Gemaras you're learning now, all the Anachot you're learning, everything that you might think, what is all this? Just tell me what I have to do. You don't understand. All this is the shoresh of the Torah dressed up in nivushim.
Yeah.
You know, you have a couple. You have there's clothes. Then they get to know each other. It's more intimate. All this, yes, it's libushin. All this is libushin. The more you get close, you take off the libushin. You can get it at that level. This is dressed up metaphors, which is very deep sometimes, and even the Kabbalah. But all this is in the next world. The Gemara we saw together. We saw it a few days ago. Or Yakrot. We said that whatever today is the most complicated, deep Torah is going to be like a joke over there. The level of wisdom that's going to be, now the Chidush is, the more you have access here, the more you access there. That's why it's very important. Rabbeinu wanted, please, go through the Torah in your lifetime. Pass through the Gemarot, pass through the Chumash, pass through everything. Because after 120, you have access to all those things. There's another way of having access. You support the ones who have access. So if you didn't do that, and I didn't know, so pay the books of Daf Yomi. Really. You know what it is to buy there was a guy when we were in Kolam, he was smart. He would come and he would buy all the books with Avrechim. I didn't learn B'iyun all things. You know what it is? A cheap investment. $50 a book for each Avrech. He's going to learn it for 8 months, in depth, all the pages, everything. You have part of it if you did that. There's ways of getting connected even if you didn't do it yourself. The best is do it yourself. The way to do it yourself is what Rabbeinu screamed many times over. Screaming. Shurim kisidran. Shurim kisidran. Start from the beginning, every day a little bit. People, what do we learn today? One Chaim Oran, one little thing. But over 5 years, over 10 years, you finish it.
Huge.
That's the only way. A little bit. And the best way to do is commute. And that's why it's together with people, because then the train continues. Anyways. So here, what are we talking about? The Torah was first. Tshuva. Tshuva is also before. Don't think that you can fix. Tshuva is before the Avirah. I did Bek Avirah, I'm finished. Don't you understand that the Avirah came after the Tshuva? Tshuva was created beforehand. The world was created for Tshuva. You're meant to fall. Just fix. By the way, teach this to your kids all the time. Tell them, Hashem loves you no matter what. And even if you make a mistake, you just fix. The Avirah is the Avirah and you're a tzaddik, and the Avirah, you fix it. That's it. The kids have to know that, because most people stop becoming religious because they feel they did so many Avirot and it's finished for me, too bad, too late. No, Tshuva is before the world. Gan Eden was before the world. Ginam before the world. So how do you tell me Ginam was, the fire of Ginam was after? Kisei Kavod. The seat of heaven, which is the deep concept of Kabbalah, what it is in Shammai, the Bet HaMikdash. Bet HaMikdash was created before the world. Shemosh Mashiach. Mashiach was already before the world. It's the same thing. Because the world's going to go crazy. But there's a person that's before the world that didn't touch the sin of the world, that is way above all of this craziness, that he's able to pick us all up. So the tzaddik, we're meant to be in a mess over here, and he's meant to pick us up. Understand? That's the Mashiach that is created before the world. Torah dichtiv, now we have all psukim to prove this. Torah dichtiv, Hashem Kanani, Reshit Dako. Hashem Kanani, establish me, Reshit Dako. The Torah was created first. Tshuva dichtiv, Beterem Marim Yuladu. Before the mountains were created, Teshev and Hashataka, a guy will do tshuva. ותאמר שובו בני אדם גן עדן דכתיב ואיתה השם אלוקים גן בעדן מקדם. So it was created מקדם. מקדם means before, the גן עדן is before. גיהינום דכתיב כי ארוך מאתמול, it was already set up from yesterday, meaning before the world. טיפתה. Why is the גיהינום called טיפתה? Because people are seduced, do avirot, which bring them to, it's a seduction. You have a taiva. Kisei HaKavod uBeit HaMikdash Ektiv Kisei HaKavod Marom Merishon. It was created before. It's higher than the first creation. Makom Mikdashenu Shemo Shel Mashiach. Described Yir Shemo Neunam Nifnei Shemesh Yinon Shemo. The Mashiach is called Yinon. He was before the Shemesh, before the world, before the sun. Amrei. So we have a problem. Ginam is the fire of Ginam is before on Erev Shabbat, or it's before the world. The Gemara says, Amrei Chalalahu Dinivra Kodem Shinivra Olam Ve'or Didei Be'erev Shabbat. The Ginam was the box of Ginam was created before, but the fire of Ginam was created Erev Shabbat. The Gemara doesn't like that either. Ve'or Didei Be'erev Shabbat Divrei. V'atani Rabbi Yossi Omer O Shebara Kadosh Baruch B'Sheni B'Shabbat and Kod B'Riyeh Kiviyah Le'olam. The fire of Ginam was created. We've done 2 more minutes. 2-3 more minutes. The fire of Ginam was created on the Sheni B'Shabbos, which is on Monday. It's written over there that it never goes out. The fire of Ginam never goes out. It's not a fire that you can put out. Your fire that you can put out, that one you can't put out. You know where we know? When it's going to be the war of Gog and Magog, and Hashem's going to destroy the Rishaim, He's going to bring them, put them on fire, and it's going to be a testimony. People are going to go see the fire that the Rishaim are burning in, and it's never going to go out. But Anashim HaPoshim, the wicked people, ki to'alatam lo tamut, the worms that are going to eat their body will never die. Ve'esham lo tikabeh, and the fire will never be put out. So what do you see over here? It's a miracle that the worm won't even be burnt. The fire is never going to go on. That's the Esher Ginam. You know, if you look in all the first day, there's one day it doesn't say Kitov. It's on Yom Sheni. It's not written Kitov. The fire of Ginam was created on that day. Now on Friday, Hashem said Tov Me'od on Kol Asher Asa, including the fire of Ginam. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's like this, very deep concept. Hashem doesn't want anybody to suffer. But the suffering Ginam makes people do tshuva. So it's actually a good thing. But it's not necessarily good because Hashem doesn't want to punish. A father doesn't want to punish. But he wants the results of the punishment. So the results are good even though it hurts him to punish. So that's why he didn't say Kitov at the beginning, but he said Kitov at the end. So you have a problem. The fire was also created during the, not before the world. Not on Erev Shabbos. So the Chalan was Erev Shabbos, was before the world. The fire was created on Yom Sheni. Ve'or didan b'machshava la biberot b'Erev Shabbat ve'lo nivra ad motzei Shabbat. So we have one right that says the fire was created before Shabbat and created was after Shabbat. So which one is it? It's the same fire. Hashem's desire to create the fire was Erev Shabbat, but the actual physical fire only came down on Motzei Shabbat when he hit the stones. So in potential it was there, but in actuality in the Poal it wasn't there. The Tanya Rabbi Yosef אומר, שתי דברים עלו ממחשבה להיברות בערב שבת, ולא נבראו עד מוצאי שבת. Two things Hashem wanted to create, thought to create them before Shabbat, but only created on Motzei Shabbat. What are they? Motzei Shabbat נתן לקדוש ברוך הוא דעה באדם ראשון, מעין דוגמה של מנה. He gave him some wisdom, והביא שתי בנים, טחן, he hid them together, זו בזו ויצא מהן אור. והביא שתי בהמות, והרכיב זו בזו ויצא מהן פרד. And actually the mule was not really, it was really after Adam Rishon created the mule through a hybrid, a mating of a horse and a donkey, Motzei Shabbat, and created the mule. We're going to stop here. Don't go away.